Muppets Mayhem. This is the new Disney Plus series that I've been highly anticipating because I freaking love the Muppets, man. And Disney's handling of the it's not been the greatest. But ever since the show was announced, I was like, I gotta see this show. I want to know what it's gonna be. A show about the Electric Mayhem. Very interesting. Something we've never really seen before. I want to know what this show's gonna be. Could be good. Could be bad. I'm not really sure. Put out the first trailer. I saw Kevin Smith in the trailer, so that hyped me. And then the show actually looked pretty good. Had some funny jokes in the trailer, so I was like, all right, let's see what this show is. And oh my god, this is one of the best Muppets projects I've ever seen. What an incredible show, just for what it does for this brand and just these characters in general. The Electric Mayhem has never really been deep, interesting characters until now. There are a lot of heartwarming moments in this show. Um, you know, and you get to see one episode. I think it's episode 3 or 4 with Animal. He leaves the group, and Animal. You get to see Animal as a baby and his connection to the group. You get to see Dr. T's past, and how he learned to be a musician and instead of following his parents' footsteps and things like that. Just little stuff that makes you love all these characters. You get to learn more about these characters. They give actual depth to these characters, and it's all really great stuff. Some of it's funny, some of it's heartwarming. It's just a delightful show, and I think the actress name. I think it's Vivian. I forget. I could be wrong about that. I've never watched her YouTube. She was a YouTube star, and she had a talk show, and it was one of the most critically panned things ever. Basically, her talk show was demolished by critics and just people in general. And this is quite a comeback for her because she is able to act really well off of these puppets who just have no well, no, they have lots of personality, but they have, it's not like the same as acting with the person. She acts off of a couple people in the three like human characters for the most part, but otherwise, she's almost never talking to human characters, and most times she's in scenes with Muppets, and she does the scenes really well. She plays off the comedy, makes them all really funny and really engaging, and all the human characters are all really good. That's one thing you told the line with Muppet projects. You do have to have some human character, just for budget reasons. Not everything can be a puppet because that's expensive, but also just the fact that you need some kind of human element for us, the audience, to play with, and it works so well here. They're all great characters, and you know, and when you have those human characters, sometimes they can feel like they're taken away from the Muppets. I don't think they ever did. I think they all did a great job here. And just this show also is fantastic. And you got a lot of really great celebrity cameos in here. I'm not going to spoil any of them, but you've seen Kevin Smith and some other ones in the trailer, but there's a lot more here. Some that I probably didn't even recognize, but they're all really good. And this show, I was gonna do what I've been trying to do with streaming shows, where if it releases all at once, I watch one episode a day until I'm finished. Then I record my review. I don't binge it anymore. I feel like binging just ruins my enjoyment of shows. But this show was one I had to binge because I watched the first episode. I was like, damn, that's great. And then I sat with it. And I'm like, I want to watch the second episode. I kept watching them. And the more I watched the show, the more I fell in love with it. And it was just fantastic. I do have complaints, but we'll get towards that to the end of the review. And I do really like. One thing I do really want to say as a big plus to this show. I am a music fanatic. A lot of people don't know that about me because I'm the movie guy or the Star Wars guy, but when it comes to a lot of things, but I'm a big music fanatic. I got vinyls, I got CDs, I got cassette tapes. Music's a big passion of mine. I've always wanted to play the drums. Maybe one day, but I've had a love for music. So this show, I can 100% tell is made by music fans. There are so many references to artists, uh, music events, concerts, jokes that about the industry itself and how music's made, all kinds of things like that. That is just so funny and so good. A lot of each episode is track labeled track one, track two, and named after a very famous song. In like that's just great. It's just all fantastic. It's completely made by music fans, and like I said, there's cameos. Not all of them being musicians, but almost all of them being musicians. They're so good, and it's just awesome. Also, there's a lot of references to Muppets past. At one point, I reckon they were playing like a VHS tape of the Elton John episode of the Muppet Show. That was great. There's a lot of great references and things like that in this show that are really, really fun. And yeah, there's just some great moments to show. Now we'll get into the negatives. There's not a lot here. I still think this show's really good, but what bothered me is they tried to make this show modern, which is fine. Go ahead and make the show modern, because the Muppets do need to be more modern. Great example I think of the Muppets being modern that I think really worked was the ABC show. I thought the characters doing a late night talk show instead of a variety show made sense, and a lot. And they had cell phones and that stuff, and they had ways of communicating with each other that they didn't have when the original Muppets was on. You know what I mean? So it made sense. In this show, they kind of get the band into tweeting and all kinds of stuff, and they get online fan bases and stuff. And it's actually, some of it works and is really funny. Like Janice basically get like a midsummer like cult for sure. It's like, okay, that's funny. You get a lot of funny jokes like that really, really work. Animal becoming obsessed with TikTok. I'm like, okay. Things like that. I'm like, okay, it's fine. But then you get episodes that were just really annoying to me, like them being in Minecraft and doing like a virtual concert in Minecraft, and that stuff just pissed me off, because I'm just like, okay, it just takes me out of the experience of this show. And I think why that bothered me is because I'm sure that is a thing, I guess, but like to me it's like, okay, this show is not made for children. I'm not saying children can't watch it. I'm not saying it's inappropriate for kids, whatever. I'm not saying any of that. But, like I mentioned, this show has a lot of celebrity cameos that kids will not understand. Kids don't know who the shit Kevin Smith is. They don't know a lot of these musicians. All of them are before their time. All of them. And I do mean all of them. And a lot of the jokes are just like funny jokes that no kid would understand. One of my favorites being a joke about politicians being liars. I thought that was hilarious. There's a lot of great jokes like that in this show, but a lot of it's not stuff kids would understand. So when you're throwing them into Minecraft, I'm not feeling like this show is made for an older audience like the rest of the show was. I feel like this show is trying to pander to kids and be modern, and it doesn't work because kids will not want to watch this. That's just the truth. Kids don't want to watch this. I think there's going to have to be some kind of bridge to get kids into the Muppets, but this was not the show to do that, and this was not the place for that. That being said, I love this show, and I think you guys should all watch it. It is fantastic. All 10 episodes are out now on Disney+. It's just awesome.